right. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for attending our February Board of Directors meeting. Apologize for the little bit of a late start. Perry, if you could just do us a quick favor and call the roll and we'll call to order. Thank you.
Absolutely. President Joe Plunk,
Present.
Vice President Tyler Henley,
Here.
Secretary Perry Hayes present, Treasurer Jim Martin,
I'm present.
Director of Training Joe Lowenthal,
Here.
Director of Programs Adam White,
Present.
Director of Meetings and Special Events Scott Adams,
Present.
Director of Publications Mike Harrison, Repeater Trustee Dan Fleek,
Here.
Immediate Past President Ty McMahon. Absent. We do have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you so much for that. That is fantastic. Real quick, we'll start off with it has been a great year so far. I am excited about the changes and the activities that we're seeing. I was thrilled to see the excitement around Winter Field Day that was generated just with a couple of people that were able to do that. I'm excited about some of the changes that we're seeing with some of the repeater activity and just we're starting to see activity on the nets, and all of that is just positive. And I think that's a fantastic opportunity for us to continue moving forward in a positive direction. And so I thank all of you for really kind of pouring into that and putting that positivity into the club. And I just want to say I appreciate that. So thank you. With that, I think we've got Perry. You sent out the membership meeting minutes. Does anyone on the board have any observations or comments that we need to adjust those minutes?
I did get some comments that folks wanted to include the amount of money that was collected when we passed around the hat. I did not have that, but I'll be happy to add it. I'm going to say that was $456.
And I believe that is correct, and that is totally appropriate. Anyone else have any other
suggestions?
Okay. All right, we'll move into with that. I think that the board would approve those membership meetings. Is there any objection to that?
No.
All right. Could I entertain a motion that we approve the membership meetings? Now, granted, we're approving them, but the membership will approve them as well.
I move that we accept the minutes of the January membership meeting.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Seconded by Dan.
Oh, damn.
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Fantastic. Our past board meeting minutes, we'll talk about those real quick. I don't think there are any adjustments or comments on those. Perry, have you received any on the past board meeting minutes?
No, sir.
All right. Does anyone have any objections to those minutes?
They were approved at the board meeting. I mean, at the regular meeting.
Correct. Yes. Sorry. You're correct, Joe.
Okay.
right into membership renewals. I apologize. Like I said, it's been a little hectic today. All right, we have our up on, should be on the screen. You should see new members that are up for renewal and new membership. I'll open the floor for discussion around the renewals and new applications, if there is any.
No, just a comment that David Pace, showing as a new member, but he is actually an old member. He is the one that actually got us Allendale Church of Christ when we had to move from the Red Cross building.
Okay. He had
Okay.
ticked off the new member box. Has he been absent from the membership for a while?
Yes,
Okay, that's
probably
probably
15, 20 years.
Yeah, so I think I actually might have told him, yeah, go ahead and mark new member since you haven't been, a member for a while.
And we got your video.
Yes. Yeah, I found that I had two Zoom sessions running, and so the other one had captured my video.
No.
Well, there you go. Problem solved.
It's my mad IT skills at work.
All right, I would is there any other discussion around membership or new renewals, new membership, excuse me, or renewals?
And as you might see there that Bob Taylor, he paid for 2 years, getting ahead of any possible increases in membership. And
All right.
And there's no typo there at the bottom. That is Rick DeRat Tillman, as listed on his application.
I have the money for N5ALN and KK4IOH. I think Alan sent in he filled out a form, but Michael hadn't yet.
I haven't seen an application from either of them yet, so unless it came in the last half hour or so.
Okay, I'll ping Alan in.
Okay. No worries. Yeah,
All
so
right.
because I didn't have a deposit for them in January. I didn't include them on the February list of new members or list of renewals.
Okay.
So they'll be on the next one.
All right. Yeah, I'll bring it to the meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Any other discussion around our membership renewals or new applications? All right, I would entertain a motion for approval of the new members and our renewals.
I move that we approve the new members and renewals.
A second.
Second.
All right, a motion made by Adam to approve the new members and our renewals, seconded by, well, that was Mike that seconded that.
I think Dan beat me to it.
Yeah.
Seconded by Dan.
Yeah.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 I'll let you second the next one, Mike.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
All right. With that, we'll move into the treasurer's report. Should be able to see that on the screen. Jim, if you want to talk about that.
Can you possibly zoom in a little bit for me? Or actually, you know what?
Let me see what I can do here.
Okay. Began the month with some money, added some money, wrote a check.
Is that a little better?
No, let me just bring it up on my screen. Okay. So we started out the month with $15,248.39 in our checking, and we had a sizable deposit of $1,046. That's including the membership application or membership renewals and new members. as well as the $80 that we took in for the sale of Delta Club patches, and the $456 that we received in donations for our internet access, which is phenomenal. We had one check written in the amount of $30.91. That was for refreshments. A check was made out to Scott, and I believe he's already obviously already deposited, and it's all set. That's the only check that we had for the month. And get back to see what you're showing there. Okay, so we ended the month with $16,263.48. I did take care of our. Can you go to the next screen? Okay, so here we show the 4 new membership applications, 15 renewals. 15 individual renewals, 3 family renewals, for a total of $510 just in applications. Then you can see there the $80 for the club patches, $456 received for the internet access, and then that one check. So that matches up with what the Regions Bank statement depicts. We have those
Which
two.
was that.
Yes. Yep. And so we have our 2 CDs. I did get to the bank on the 29th and renewed that CD ending in 8481. And you see it was renewed for what is it? Just over 6 months, 7 months, almost 7 months. So it'll mature in August. I'm sorry.
I think it was some background noise, Jim.
Oh, okay. My apologies. All right. So I think that I didn't go back to look at what we had in our last video, but I think that the rate was slightly different, or the term was slightly different, but it was very close to what we had talked about. If it's not the same, for some reason when I went in there, it sounded like it was a little bit different, but I'll take care of renewing that again in August. The CD ending in 8503, the larger of the 2, that one will mature in February, or this month on the 23rd. So I will have to take care of that, and so we can, I can look and see what the rates are closer to that time, and then I'll have to renew that, before the month is up.
Let me ask you this. Does anyone on the board have an objection to Jim taking care of that, with the guidance from the board being that we would prefer the largest interest that we can obtain? I'll open a quick discussion around that topic quickly.
Well, I think a 3-month would be too short. And I have a feeling that's what it'll be. The higher rate will be the shortest period of time at that time. It doesn't look like the Fed's going to be dropping much on interest rates right now.
I believe when I went into the bank,
So to take that, I'm sorry, Jim, go ahead.
But the terms that I received for the smaller CD were the shortest term, and they didn't have anything. They didn't have a 2-month, 3-month, anything smaller than that. What was it, like 270 days or whatever it was?
Oh, okay.
And that was the best interest rate as well on my shortest one.
All right. So I think
No
the
problem.
guidance that I think that guidance then is to give Jim the approval to approve per his discretion for best interest rate. Is that a good summarization, Jim, of your previous experience recently?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. I'd love to entertain a motion around that, give it, so that we can have that motion and give Jim that, approval.
I would like to move that we give Treasurer Jim Martin the authority to roll over the CD ending in account number 8503 with the best interest rate possible at his discretion.
I
All
second.
right, I got a motion. Joe has seconded it. The motion is to approve and renew the small business CD that we have that ends in 8503 at his discretion for the best interest rate possible. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, most excellent. Motion carries. Jim, let us know when that gets done. We appreciate you taking care of that.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Anything else on the treasurer's report? We got one more thing to do with it, but any other comments or observations or discussion around the treasurer's report? All right. I'd love to entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report as Jim has presented it.
I'll make a motion that we approve the treasurer's report as presented.
Fantastic. Seconded by.
I'll second that.
All right. Motion to approve the treasurer's report from Mike and seconded by Tyler. The motion on the floor is to approve the treasurer's report. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Fantastic. Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have at this time, we'll open the floor and see, do we have any bills that we need to get presented for payment? Anybody have any bills coming up? Jim, I'll have a couple for you. I'll have the donation to the ARRL for in memory of Barry. I'll have that. I'll get that over to you.
Okay.
And I will also have the reimbursement for Mobile Citizen for the hotspot. And that was, and I've got an invoice for that, and I'll forward that as well for that amount.
That's all. All right. I don't have any other, or I've not received any other bills. I don't have any other outstanding payments for anything this time. So I'll bring the checkbook to the general meeting next week and have checks ready for you. Reimbursement.
Right. Fantastic. Does anybody else have anything that for any bills that are needing to be discussed? All right. We'll move into this is leftover topics from last month. I do want to just refresh this real quick. Mike's done a really good job of, thank you, Mike, for updating our website. He poured some effort into Sparks, and we appreciate that. Let's kind of work on getting our Sparks articles to Mike. If you haven't gone out and reviewed your biography on our website, I'd ask that you please do that and send a new one to Mike so we can refresh those. And then if by chance you want to change or use your Delta Club email instead of your personal email on the Sparks and or website, let Mike know that and he can get those updated. And I did want to follow up. If the board members have the ability to, I'd love to see the board members write an article in Sparks. It doesn't have to be anything other than, hey, this is something I did in the past. It was fun. Just something that gives us an insight into our hobby that we may not have otherwise if you didn't think to write the article or provide us that insight in a quick little thing. Not looking for war and peace here, looking for a couple of paragraphs just so that we have interesting perspectives for the members, because the board has a wide ranging breadth of experience. If we all put a little bit of our experience into Sparks, that provides some interesting opportunities for our memberships to kind of see some interesting perspectives. All right. Any discussion around Sparks? Mike, you want to add anything to that?
No, I don't really have anything to add. If we could just try to get them in as early as possible, that would be great. Thank you.
Very fair. Um, renewals is a topic that I have on the list as well. Harry, I did not get a chance to look through the memberships. And I did want to take a little bit of time, and I won't take a lot of time during the meeting to talk to you, but I do want to talk to you about kind of updating the spreadsheet a little bit so we can track a little bit of this. How do you feel renewals are going at the moment? As
Me?
far as the number of members that are still outstanding.
I feel like they've really came in well at the last membership meeting. I haven't really broken them down as to how many people haven't renewed, but I've been very encouraged. I was really encouraged at the last meeting. I can look at that and be prepared to talk to you about it when we discuss the spreadsheet, but I really don't have an opinion as to what percentage or whatever the people have renewed. I apologize. I just wasn't prepared for that.
But totally fine. It was more of an off the cuff question than expecting you to be prepared, more of a general feeling, and that's
Yeah,
what you
I'm
expressed. So
very
that's what I
encouraged.
was really kind of looking.
Yeah, I'm very
I'm sorry.
encouraged. Jim was really busy at the last meeting, and I was very encouraged. Some people that have been away from us seem to be coming back, and that's always good. So I'm very encouraged.
Yes, sir. I would echo that sentiment very, very much. All right. I would just, if you see a member, ask them if they renewed. Ask someone that hasn't joined the club to join us. Those are the biggest things that we can do, and we'd love to see that happen as well. All right, we'll move right into wanted to move into programming. This needs to get edited because that's not hang on a second.
How many people were on the membership roster? Was it 26?
For the membership?
Well,
I'm not sure I
on
understood the question, Joe.
renewals.
1, 2,
Sorry,
1,
it's 22. Well, 22 plus
Plus 3.
three family members.
We have 32 members as of right now.
I believe we got more than
Paid up.
that, don't we?
Well,
'Cause I know
32
I had
without the
actually-
life membership.
Well, I think we had a few more than that. Where's
The
that?
last
Where are you pulling that
report
number
was
from, Joe?
6. Okay.
Because I know I had actually renewed in November, I believe, for 2025. I actually renewed back in November. So anyway,
Yeah, I think I started
Uh,
receiving renewals in October.
yeah, we're good. All right, let's talk for a minute. My neck here, I apologize. There we go. Member topics. Adam will throw the ball over to you. And these were January's topics. So we'll look at what do we have on the deck for February.
Yeah, I've got Tyler's gonna recap winter field day for us. And then I will be doing DMR code plug, how to, since our repeater's live.
Are you going to cover any specific radios or just in general?
It'll primarily be Motorola, but the same principles will apply to everything.
I should pick your brain on that. Fantastic.
The program
Um,
or what would be, if you were to make a more concise title, what would that be?
Um,
Or is that just all that you want, or
yeah, that's about as concise and well.
DMR code plug and just leave it there? Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, the
Gotcha.
DMR
Thank you.
calls their programming code plugs.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be a demonstration or are you going to
Yeah,
just talk
talk
through
about
it?
some of the features, things like that. How it all
Okay.
ties together to build a code plug.
Just out of curiosity, what,
So maybe
what
a
model of radio will be using? I know you said Motorola, but
Um,
like
yeah,
or something.
I'll have a Motorola mobile there, but we'll be looking at the Motorola uses the same software for their mobiles and their handhelds.
Oh, okay.
And the repeaters.
And the repeaters. Yeah.
Okay. That seems like a nice segue into our repeater report and updates.
We got the repeater up and running. Couple temporary things. I got to order one more cable to put the amp in, and we bummed a hotspot from Joe's work, and it's been doing the internet until the hotspot comes in. But it's been rock solid. People are getting in. I'm showing 17 people have keyed up on the repeater since we've turned it on. 675 transmissions. It is probably the most used repeater in our setup now. People are getting on it and rag chewing, so it's working well. Coverage seems pretty good. I don't have any complaints on it. I've got to talk to Jelly this week. We need to go out and work on the Germantown repeater. That's our next project. Jelly has to be there due to Homeland Security rules or something. So I got to get him and Michael and Alan all lined up. I haven't been out to Methodist North in a while. We'll probably need to do a 220 trek next month when the weather gets better. But the APRS has been working very well. And no, I haven't gone out to the 443.2 and changed the time on it. I think the instructions are the same that you gave me, Joe, for the 8.2. Up, you're on mute, Joe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what repeater is at 443-200.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and try the see if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. gets us into it.
May have to ask Steve to clip that segment.
Yeah. And maybe in 6 weeks the time will be back correct.
I was about ready to say leave it on. It'll be correct in 6 weeks.
The wonderful joy of daylight savings time. All right. Dan, thank you for that. I want to take just a second and extend a really and take, I have a picture of, I managed to take a picture of Dan turning the new repeater, the new DMR repeater on for the first time. So I'll send that to Mike for Sparks. But I do want to take a minute and really just sincerely acknowledge and thank Dan. There was a tremendous amount of behind the scenes work, planning, research, and energy that went into making the repeater turn up that the club wanted to get done for the DMR repeater happen. And not only happen, but happen so very, very smoothly. That repeater turn up was brilliantly smooth, other than just the manual amount of time it took to physically put things in place and move cables and rack everything, do all that. Dan sat down and programmed it, turned it on, made a tweak, and it was live and on the air. And within about 20 minutes of turning it on, people were actually figured out it was on the air and were hitting it. So, Dan, I just want to take a minute and say thank you. I appreciate all of that work, because that's not a trivial amount of work that you poured into that. And I wanted to thank you for that.
Second.
Thank you. Yeah, I was surprised too. Within less than 24 hours, 10 people had keyed up on it. So they're finding it, and it's kind of like LET being back. And club members are joining in, and so now we got to start getting people programmed up.
Excellent.
But
That is the next step. And then on that note, it's not really anything to I'd entertain, because I'd like to tap into the expertise of the board here and entertain some thoughts. And I'm not trying to say we have to make the decision tonight. I just really want to open up the floor for everybody to think for a few minutes. What would be a good format for us to entertain some sort of net type activity on the DMR repeater? Do we want it to be weekly, monthly, daily? Do we want to try to make it in conjunction with the nightly activities by doing some really nice potential linking, where we might be able to say, okay, let's put the two repeaters together for one night, where we have the nightly net, and it's across both a couple of repeaters that are linked. Anyway, I'm not trying to solve the problem right now. I'm just asking and everybody to kind of think about what might be. I want to lean into the expertise that we have on the board here around that, and just ask for some opinions. If everybody has an opinion or wants to voice it right away, please feel free to toss it out there. But I do think that having a good, hey, come on there, hit the repeater, try to test your gear just like we do on the 8.2 every night, would be a good thing for us to do. So any thoughts on that?
I think if it could be linked with the 8.2, that would be good.
Yeah.
That would be a good way to transition, so everybody can be involved. And then after a few months, maybe we could have one night a week where it's only DMR.
Okay.
yeah.
No, that could be something that we
Yeah.
put on the survey, Joe. At the end of the meeting every night. That could be an interesting topic for that, to see what the membership
Yeah.
feels about it.
Good point, Mike. I am making a note.
And it's ham radio. Let's just try it out and see how it works. It may not work. It may work great.
I think that we got to remember that, that, you know, that we're doing this, you know, for fun, but it's also one day may come to help us in an emergency situation. So I think that the maximum amount of coverage that we can have and the maximum modes that we can have, the better off I think that we're going to be. So, you know, I guess, you know, I can only get into the 8.2 because I live so far away. So it'd be difficult for me to get in via DMR, but I would hate to miss out on that. So, you know, if we could link them, I would really like to see something like that.
Oh man, you're prime candidate for a DMR hotspot, Mike.
Yeah, but it'll probably if the net goes down though, you know, I got to fall back on the 8.2 or, you know,
Yeah.
VHF if you will, you know. So, but yes, you're right.
How far away are you, Mike? I apologize. I forget.
It's 55 miles for me one way to get to work. So I'm about 47 miles as the crow flies from the repeater.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you could hit the DMR repeater, but when the amp comes up, you might be able to hear it.
Yeah,
You may actually be
it's
able to hit it
possible.
back.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. If I had a beam, it's possible. I don't know. And then, you know, if I can get my tower up and put the beam on it, that might be possible. But if a bullfrog had wings.
Yes, sir. Well, I think that those are some great observations, everyone. Does anybody
Yeah.
have any additional parting comments on that? All right. I apologize. I had kind of accidentally jumped ahead and talked about Sparks already, talked about renewals, um, talking a little bit about programming. Um, has anybody, Adam, how has the survey that you've had open been going? Have you gotten any more responses to that?
Yeah, we have 4 more responses, so that's a 100% increase. Currently, the most desired topic is HF antenna building. I've got Ryan Turner. I asked him about HamWAN, but he wants to do Meshtastic, so he'll be at March. We got 3 people who want to hear about Meshtastic, 4 people who want to hear about Arden. So nobody wants
Okay.
to present yet, though. So
Okay. Well,
You got
that
my
sounds like
comment
some,
about adding Dave, our Delta Division Director is inviting him for a meeting.
yeah, I can do that. I can try to line something up.
And, you know, maybe we could, you know, talk about some of the different DMR radios since we're now on DMR and, you know, maybe give, hey, here is a good entry level radio. Here's a good mid level. Here's, you know, that kind of thing, because now I'm interested in getting one just for when I'm in town, you know. So I'd like to have something that's kind of inexpensive, I guess. But I don't know if that can be folded into your presentation on next Tuesday night or not, but
Yeah, I could make that work.
I could see DMR being a topic numerous times throughout the year based on different different radios and maybe some, you know, talking about some of the caveats of certain models or, you know, that type of thing. Or even having maybe you know, bring your radio in and we can try to build a cold plug for you, get it going, show you how to use it.
Yeah, we could do that
yeah,
for
I'd love
Ham 101 sometime.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
love to have something like that at the 6 o'clock hour
Mhm.
where we just, you know, have a roundtable kind of discussion. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but that'd be a fantastic opportunity. It's always been a goal for me personally to have that opportunity for new hands to come to a meeting. They bring a radio that they don't have any idea how to make work, and we help them get it working for the local repeaters in the community and make sure that it works for them. So
It might be
I actually,
discussing, like how to install, a different firmware on a radio that, provides additional functionality. Just to give people, I don't know, I like to tinker with stuff, and I'm sure many other people like to, and that might be a topic that folks might be interested in. I'm not volunteering. Not ways like yes, you are. No, I'm not. Not volunteering, no. I just thought that might be something that folks might be interested in. That was one of the reasons that I chose those specific radios that we gave away in November, because they had the capability to accept a different firmware that gave additional functions. So just a thought.
Cool.
all of those are great topics. Any other kind of discussion around that? And we'll move into, we'll touch base on the budget real quick.
Okay, so unfortunately, I don't have the budget with me. So, but I did make a couple of changes to the budget, after the last meeting. And I'll go ahead and make this additional update for the $250 budget for the Free Fest donation. And I will get that into the mail to the group as well as Mike for publication in this forthcoming Sparks. And then I'll be ready to present it to the club at the next meeting.
Okay. Does anyone have any items that they'd like to bring back up? I know we discussed the budget pretty thoroughly last month. Has anybody had any additional thoughts or observations that they want to bring back to the table regarding the budget? I think we did a pretty good, thorough discussion last month. And Jim did a really good job of catching all those and noting those down. All right, hearing none, I would love for us as a board to entertain a motion to approve the budget as we are as we have talked about it to present to the membership.
So moved. I move that we.
All right, Perry, thank you.
Second.
And Tyler seconded that. So the motion that we've got on the floor is to approve, as the board is approving the budget that we've discussed and Jim is presenting for members to be presented to the membership for approval. Seconded by Tyler, made by Perry. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. Very good. Very, very good. Thank you, everyone. All right. Did anyone have an opportunity, moving right along, to take a look at the kind of the year at a glance planner that we talked about last month? Everybody see that?
You
Yes.
really can't see it, but
Yeah,
Too small.
yes.
Let's see if I can make it a little bigger. How's that?
that is
A little
better.
better?
Yep.
Fantastic. So this is actually a 50 amp hour life battery this time, just to update that. Did anyone have a chance to look through this as far as kind of what's coming up each month.
Yeah, I reviewed it when you sent it out last month. And
Okay.
I have something similar that's, items for for the treasurer to perform, or, actions to take place each month. And,
Uh-huh.
and maybe we can, add that to this list as well. So I can put that
I think
together.
that would be fantastic.
I'll put that in and send that
That
to
would
you.
be fantastic. Okay. You're welcome. All of this is stored out on our Google Workspace Drive, our Google Drive. This is actually in the board. I think I've got this one in the board meeting agendas. It's the 2025 DARC board reminder list. Everybody should be able to log in. Everybody should be able to go out and edit this and make updates to it as you see appropriate. If we want to add to this so that we can add things so that we don't forget this. This is kind of a rolling list that helps us remember what we're doing so that the guys that come along behind us aren't having to plow the ground anew. They have a path of kind of the things that recur, and they can not forget those. Appreciate that. All right. That made that smaller now. Let me make that differently. That's not so small. All right. With that, we've talked about Free Fest, and Joe's got our battery lined up. And Joe, that is an approved expense. Do you want to just just let us know where that's coming from real quick?
I believe it'll be coming from Gigaparts. I'll ask them for
Okay.
a prize for an additional door prize, see if they'll send it.
Gigaparts has done some let's make a deal kind of stuff in the past for some people, so they may be willing to entertain that as an option.
Well, I almost hate going to
seem-
Gigaparts because Ham Source has been so good to them by giving the different price, not only giving a discount on the batteries, but also they were giving a small prize, $50 prize as well. But I'll, for the difference in the batteries, I'll go and see what they say.
Is it worth asking Ham Source to see if they could match that?
I don't think they don't have that battery. They only carry the Biono batteries. And the Biono battery is about $500. I have a feeling Gigaparts is selling out of these batteries for some reason.
Or maybe liquidating their stock and moving to a
When I
different
go
model.
in and at the top to inquire about it, it pulls up the Biono batteries and not this PO4 power battery.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for letting us know that. That is a budgeted and approved item, so let us know when you've got that purchased. And we'll submit that bill over to Jim, and he'll get you taken care of. Appreciate it.
And
But on the topic of Free Fest, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just want to mention that, just a reminder that we do have our tax exempt status. And so we should be able to avoid sales tax. But it'll require, submission of a copy of that form to Gigaparts or wherever we might do business with.
And I believe, Jim, that certificate is out on the Google Drive as well.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Oh, are you
Pretty straightforward
asking me, or
process. Yes, that was a question. I apologize. I believe it is out there, correct?
You know what? I'll have to verify. I can't remember if I put it out there or not. I know that I sent it to you and to Dan. I just can't remember if I had actually uploaded it, but I'll, if it's not there, it will be there.
Very good. Pretty straightforward process. You get the certificate, you put the vendor of who is you're sending it to on the line, and poof, they're good most of the time.
It might be
Free Fest.
tax exempt anyway because of it being out of state. And they only have two
I don't know
locations.
about Giga.
Yeah, I know that they charged me tax during my last purchase.
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't know what they do for clubs.
I don't know. I think Giga Parks
Yeah,
collect sales tax in all states at this point.
Everybody started cracking down on that about 5 years ago.
Free Fest is in April. Joe, are you planning on having a table there for the club?
I've asked for 2 tables.
Are they still free this year, or are we going to need to chip in a couple of bucks for them?
We'll have to pay $10, $5 a table.
All right. Does anybody object to that?
Sounds good.
Don't see any objections to that either. Free Fest typically does a lot for, they sell tickets. I mean, everybody's been around and knows the Free Fest opportunities. Joe or anyone, does anyone know the vendors that they're going to have at Free Fest this year? Has anybody heard from Mara on that?
No, I have not. Rick Tillman will have tickets at Delta Club meeting for the Le Bonheur, you know, the door prize tickets.
Yeah, he's already hit up his usual suspects, so he'll have his stack of tickets as well. Be good to know if what vendors will be there. I hope we get some more back because last year they lost a couple of vendors. It's a fun little ham fest that we have in town. Trenton's got one in March if you're looking for local ham fest. I don't know of any. Does anybody know of any other local ham fest between now and Trenton?
No.
It's in March, right?
Yes, sir.
Corinth, Mississippi.
I wanna
has
say
one,
that-
but I can't remember when it is.
The week before or the week after?
Well,
Memphis?
Corinth, Mississippi's is usually April Fool's Day.
I believe Trenton's is the 22nd. Don't hold me to that, but I saw an email and I think it's the 22nd. All right, that's Free Fest. I'll circle back around and talk a little bit about Ham has retired from Ham 101. We haven't filled that 6-hour slot. There's been some really good discussion around that. Does anybody have any ideas about how to start really activating that 6 p.m. hour and creating some conversation around that? And maybe we have an Elmer roundtable, or I don't know. This is an idea brainstorming session. I don't have a definite answer on this. It's more of just wanting to reach into our experience here and say what might work.
Do we have very many new members to the club?
We have a few. We're starting to get a lot of few. Like I was going to reach over and ask Tyler a specific question. You know, Tyler, what do you think Josh and Matthew might be interested in? Or even your dad?
Oh goodness.
Radios,
Yeah, the kids are killing radios. And honestly, that's kind of what I was thinking. It not every single month, but every now and then. And we've kind of hit on it before, but programming, especially HTs, a lot of people are still just using keypads. But if we could have some of the guys that know how to like really program to help set up, like I've got I've got a DMR handheld that I have no clue how to program that I'm going to have to figure out. So I know that I'm not the only one out there. So as newer people come in, I mean, the easiest way to get into it's a HT, and a lot of the newer techs, that's what they're, in my eyes, that's what I would say would be successful a couple times a year for sure. But that's
Yeah,
just
I
me.
guess, yeah, I would echo that, Tyler. I remember when I become a new ham, that was like a big gap for me. And there was a guy named Steve in the club, and he programmed my radio. But yes, that was a huge hurdle when I first came in, is finding how to program the new radio and getting resources there. So yeah, I would absolutely echo that.
Okay. So maybe not what I'm hearing here is a consensus of maybe not every session, but maybe once a quarter. Say, hey, come early, and they'll have Elmers here that can help you program your HT. Get here at 6
Well,
o'clock. The Elmers will be here, and we'll help you get your HT programmed and on the air.
I mean, it's just really bringing a laptop and a cable. So, and that's probably going to get the majority of the radios, except for like the name brand ones, if you will. Motorola, I don't really know what kind of a special cable that they use, but anything that uses the Kenwood plug, it's pretty easy to program. But then once you get above that, then I really can't do, I don't have the stuff for that. But yeah, I'd be willing to bring my computer. I have Chirp, and I've got, a lot of the state Memphis area stations program that would be easy to download into, especially like a Bofang or something like that.
Yeah, and we could coincide it with the ending of any of the classes Joe teaches. I mean, that would be a good way to get a decent group together. So that
Sure. Yeah, that's a great idea.
And Joe actually happens to have a technician class running. Joe, when does your technician class end?
The 7th of April.
It starts on the 24th. Is that right, Mr. Joe?
Of February, right.
Do you have very many people in there right now?
11?
How many from the Guard?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Do you have a maximum size, Joe?
About 15.
Yeah, I was going to send out a tickle note to the Guard guys so that they could try to jump on it.
Let's see, I've got 12, 11 and 10, and possibly one other one. Now, Tyler, that's why I was inquiring to you.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. We've had some things come up, but Holly is still interested. We're just not going to be able to hit this one with some IEP things with school.
Okay.
And you said the max is going to be around 15?
Yeah, I try to keep it at 15.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Joe. We appreciate all that. I just want to compliment real quick. I know it had a little bit of the demo effect happen last meeting, but it was really fun, Adam, to see a live radio at a member meeting on the air. So I would encourage us all to remember that we can get radios on the air at the meetings. We can throw an antenna up in the front yard. We've got plenty of coax. We can get radios on the air, and I think that was very well received. So on that, Adam. So thank you for showing us that. Hey, radio is about having a radio on the air. All right. Last topic that I'll have, and then we'll move into kind of towards a wrap. I do want to. I've already gotten a couple of emails from both Neshoba specifically. I haven't gotten anything from MARA yet. Neshoba Fred Miller has let me know that he has secured the Germantown pavilion space for the field day in June. I did want to make sure and not assume that we as a club are interested in that field day and that we are interested in participating with Neshoba and MARA should MARA come to the table. I know Neshoba's there. And Neshoba had a really good opportunity. They got some good publicity at Winter Field Day at the library in Germantown. So I just wanted to make sure that as a club, as a board, we are still interested in participating and working with Neshoba and MARA. So I'll open up the floor for that conversation real quick about field day in the summer.
I'm for it.
I think it's a fantastic opportunity. I was talking to Dan the other evening, and the big light poles out there in the field. I was like, I wonder if we could throw a rhombic up in it. Anyway, does anybody not want to participate? Let me ask the question a different way. Does anybody not want to participate with Neshoba or MARA at field day? All right. Hearing none, I'll let Fred and Rick know that we are interested and we'll start working on the planning. And then Adam and Tyler, both of you, I'll let you know if we start having some. I'd love to have some, not very many, but a couple of kind of off-cycle meetings with the other clubs to start talking about possibly getting, let's get a roster going. Let's work out our station plan. Running at Winter Field Day multi-op was a ton of fun. I know that we have a logging, a computer that we log with. We have an access point that we use to make the summer field day connect and wireless. So we've got some opportunities to really have a good multi-band, multi-op, even potentially single sideband and CW at field day. And it could just really have a lot of fun and get a lot of exposure out at field day. And didn't quite get to have the vision last year of what we really wanted to do, just due to some circumstances, but really want to try to pour into some effort this year on getting some logistical planning done and really showcase what we can do for field day. All right.
On that note, I have an alibi about spending some money. A 10-meter bandpass filter.
Yes, because we do not have a 10-meter bandpass filter. Yes.
So I didn't even think about it until
So
we were talking about that.
fair enough. So I'll ask you to do this. Can you look into and bring back to us the cost of a 10-meter bandpass filter?
Yes, can do.
Fantastic. And you may want to reach out to Joe Lowenthal because he may already know. But if you could bring back the cost, then I think we can certainly entertain adding a 10-meter bandpass filter to the club's collection of bandpass, because we've got 40, 20, 15, but we do not have a 10-meter.
I believe it's 80, 40, 15, and 80, 40, 20, and 15.
I do believe you're correct, Joe.
Yeah.
And I'd have to get the box back so I could see the thing and give you where it came from.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly.
I
where
certainly, yeah, I can shoot that over to you before I get the box back to Joe, Tyler, if you're interested in that. But if you could bring us back a 10-meter bandpass filter cost, we will certainly entertain that. Does anybody else have any questions or things along that line that might be good to have for field day
What are you doing?
that we might need to get ahead of time?
You don't already have a glass out? No, you need a smaller glass. You need a smaller glass than that.
I do know that we have we'll have a go-to station. So there'll be the stations that we run on the band plan, and then the go to station kind of wanders all over wherever they can get contacts for. And I know it's a little far away, so we'll try to coordinate this with the other clubs. All right, we'll move right along. I did just throw this into the agenda. These were some of the things that were in the signal report for things that they wanted, the club members were potentially wanting to see next year. And then with that, we'll take a minute and go around the table and close with any comments or observations that each board member might have in their area. I think we've covered most everything, but this will be an opportunity if we've forgotten something. So I'll start off. I don't have anything pressing. I would just ask and echo that what Mike has asked, if we try to get his Sparks articles to them as quick as we can. And I'm as guilty as all of us of getting mine in late, so I'm going to try to do better. With that, I'll turn it over to Tyler.
I've got nothing after I remembered the 10-meter fan pass filter. That's it. Thanks, y'all.
Fantastic. Thank you. Perry?
I don't have anything to add, Joe.
Well, thank you very much. We'll circle around over to Jim.
Nothing additional to add. Thank you.
All right, Ty is absent. Adam?
If we want to do Ham 101 this week or next week, we could say bring your laptop and we'll get WinLink installed and get you an account set up.
Ooh, that's a great follow-up, Adam. Can you write that up in Sparks and make sure that gets published?
Absolutely.
Be incredible.
Fantastic. That's
Yeah.
a fantastic idea. I'll bring my laptop.
Me too.
Awesome.
Scott?
Where are you going to meet? Upstairs or downstairs?
Wherever. I've never done Ham 101, so I haven't even been upstairs at that building.
The assumption, Joe, would be that it would be back in the Ham 101 space, which is next door to the testing room.
Okay.
I think that room number is in an old Sparks.
B202.
I don't remember. Thank you, Joe.
I didn't even know there was a second floor to that building.
Now, I will put it out there for a second, since, I mean, it is a good question. It's not to assume that we're going upstairs. I'll put it out because I incorrectly assumed that might be where you want to go, Adam. We could have it in the main membership room if you wanted to. The only challenge with that is there's just a lot of circling through and an activity around and setup and
Yeah, we can do it
distraction.
Yeah, you got a lot of people mingling coming in too. I don't know if
Yeah.
that would be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough. All right, Scott, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think you said you were good, but I didn't want to assume that.
No, I have nothing.
You're good. All right. Mike, we'll circle around to you.
I have nothing.
Fair enough. Joe, you want to add to anything?
Yes. Technician class starting February the 24th on 6 Monday nights from 6:15 to 9:30 via Zoom. No class on March the 10th. The March 31st class will be FCC testing in person with a location to be determined. Right now, the extra class, we have 5 people finishing in the class. 2 have already gotten their license, have upgraded rather, and 3 of them will test at the Delta Club test session on the 11th. If they feel they're ready, otherwise they'll test later on. But there's only 3 that finished the class that have not tested, and so they'll test it at Delta Club test session on the 11th. One question, did we get a check to Mid-America? Did we get one in?
We did at the
We
at
presented
the
that.
end of December. We did.
Okay.
Right.
That's all.
All right. I did have one question, Joe, and you may not know the answer. I have seen some traffic around that the ARRL testing is moving to a non-paper based solution in the next year or so. Have you heard anything around that or about that?
Oh, yeah. I've been doing it. Bill Stevens did it. Well, no, he didn't do it, but he generated the manuals and everything back when he was liaison. Mike Sparks knows about it, and he's actually, other than getting other than running off the test booklets himself, he has been doing the online submission to ARRL, which speeds up getting them in, and then he will be generating, as of 2026 for sure, they'll be generating all the test booklets by person rather than ARRL printing them and sending anything out. It's saving the printing cost as well as the mailing and remailing of testing materials.
Okay.
We've been trying to get them to do it for years.
Fantastic. I did have a question on that in that regards. With this is a new opportunity that we might be able to leverage with our new mobile citizen relationship, and it's just a thinking question, so it's not a suggestion at the moment. But would it be beneficial for us if we had maybe a couple of like iPads or tablets and a hotspot that was dedicated to testing and did it all electronically? Would that save time, speed up situations, make it easier for everyone? Put it in a Apache hard case and you've got the football, the testing football when you walk in?
The training and everything, that would be up to Mike Sparks if he wanted to do it. The main thing is you have to have people knowledgeable about the iPads and all of that to where if something goes astray, they can correct it, because you don't want to tell a candidate that they cannot test because the iPad isn't working. And it slows things down somewhat. Yeah, if you have one or two, but what happens when you have 4 or 5 people testing? And we had 4 or 5 last month.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that we'd try to do that with 1 or 2 iPads. I was thinking if it did come to fruition, it was something that was interested in, I'd say there's probably 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, some people, some groups have automated it. I don't know about ARRL, but I know Laurel, some of the Laurel teams have automated it that way. But if you don't know what the number of people coming in and testing, that can be difficult if you don't have enough of them.
All right, it's, like I said, just a suggestion, just a thought. We can reach out and have some further discussion around it. All right, circle last word to Dan.
All good.
All right. Well, Dan, thank you for all the work you made on the improvements and the hard work that's gone into that. Appreciate it greatly. All right. With all of that, I appreciate everyone's time. I don't have anything else or anything additional. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Delta 2 Club net 82 net in 4 minutes.
Nope. Yep.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
So move.
All right. Motion to adjourn, made by Mike, seconded by Joe. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, everyone. Thank you so very much for your time. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time. See you next week.